Introduction. Which is that one substance without which survival of life forms on earth would become impossible? Yes, water. Plants wilt and die in the absence of water. Animals and human beings suffer dehydration when their water intake is inadequate. Thus, water is the most important necessity of life. In this lesson, we will learn about this precious commodity in detail. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to list some general facts about water, state the properties of water, list the uses of water, explain the concept of water cycle. Water is essential for the survival of all living things, plants, animals, human beings, and other life forms. It covers 70% of our planet in the form of rivers, ponds, oceans, and streams, making Earth appear blue in color when seen from space. In fact, abundance of water has earned Earth the sobriquet, blue planet. Water is tasteless, odorless, and colorless. It dissolves many substances, so it is known as the universal solvent. It exists in nature in three states, that is, solid, liquid, and gas. In solid form, water is known as ice or snow. In gaseous form, water is known as water vapor or steam. But the most common form that water takes is the liquid form. It is in this form that it is known as water. A water molecule is made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. That is why water is represented by the chemical formula H2O. We use water for various different purposes. On an average, a human being consumes about 60,000 to 80,000 liters of water in his lifetime. Water is used in households for drinking, cooking, bathing, gardening, washing, and cleaning purposes. Irrigation facilities improve agricultural output and help meet the growing demand for food from a growing world population. Irrigation acts as an insurance against the vagaries of nature. Water is also used in industries for cooling purposes. It is used in many industries as a solvent. It is also used to generate electricity. Besides, recreational activities such as swimming, fishing, sailing, and other water sports require water. 97% of the total water present on Earth's surface is salt water, so it is not safe for household, agricultural, and industrial consumption. The remaining 3% is fresh water, 2/3 of which is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. That means roughly 1% of all the water on Earth is available for consumption. It is time to check your understanding. Unscramble the words given in brackets to complete the sentences. Have you wondered how, despite consumption of water by living things on Earth for hundreds of years, the balance of water on the planet has been maintained? It is the water cycle which makes it possible. The repeated changing of water in nature from liquid to gaseous form and then back to liquid form is called the water cycle. There are 4 main steps in water cycle. They are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Let us try to understand how the water cycle operates. Water in oceans, seas, rivers, etc. gets heated up by the sun and turns into vapor. This process is known as evaporation. Plants absorb water from the soil. They use a part of this water to prepare their food and release the excess water into the air as water vapor. This process is called transpiration. The water vapor rises up in the air, cools and turns into tiny water droplets. These droplets come together to form clouds. This process is called condensation. When the clouds become too heavy, the water droplets in them fall on earth in the form of rain, hail, sleet, or snow. The process is known as precipitation. The water received by earth as rain, hail, or snow goes into the oceans, seas, rivers, and lakes. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Water is essential for life. Water vapor gets added to air by evaporation and transpiration. The water vapor in the air condenses to form tiny droplets of water which appear as clouds. The tiny droplets come together and fall down as rain, snow, or hail. Rain, snow, and hail supply water to rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, and soil. The water cycle is a natural process of circulation of water from the land to the sky and back to the land again.
Hello students, it's Trupti here. I'm going to teach you today chapter number 14, water. So that we know that what is the use of water in our daily activity. Water is useful for everywhere. So how to use water, where to use water, and how to save water, we will learn this in this chapter. Suppose for some reason your family gets only one bucket of water every day for a week. Then imagine what would happen with you if you are getting 20 liters or 30 liters water per day, but suppose one day you are not getting 20 liters or 30 liters and someone is telling you that you are having only one bucket of water, then what will you do? And we know that we do every activities like cleaning utensils, cleaning our clothes, washing, cleaning our house, for cooking, for our daily activities, for everywhere we are using water. But if we are not getting water, then what to do? What happened with us? Have you ever imagined? Have you ever thought how people are getting water with easy access, that some places are not getting water? So apart from drinking, there are so many activities which we use water. So do you have any idea what quantity you are using water in a single day? So how much water do we use? Activity 1 we have given here. We have to list all the activities where we are using water within a day. So if we are starting our day, we will drink water, we will bath, we will go for cooking, for cleaning utensils, for washing clothes. So that are our activities, there we use water. So suppose if we estimate amount of water used by family in a day. So suppose for a drinking, 1 minute. Suppose for a drinking you are using 4 to 5 liter per day. For brushing 1 liter, for bathing 2 liter, washing utensils 3 to 4 liter, washing clothes 7 to 10 liter, toilets you are using 5 liter, cleaning floor 2 liter, any other we will take 5 to 6 liter. So maximum, or if we estimate or get total of all the activities of amount used water, it will be 28 liters for a single person in a day. So you have to make a calculation for how much water you are using in one day, then you have to multiply it with your family member. How many family members are there in your family? Suppose there is a 4 member in your family, then 28 multiplied by 4 you can do it, and you will get it the amount of water which is used by your family. Like this we will multiply it by 30, then we will get how much water we are using in a month. Then if you will multiply it with 365, then we will get what is the amount of water we are using within a year. So there is a number of people in your village or town, you can also multiply it. So here Buzo is there. Buzo wonders whether people living in a different region of our country get the same amount of water. Are there regions where people do not get adequate amount of water? How do they manage? So have you ever think that people, we are living in Gujarat suppose, and we are getting sufficient amount of water. Wherever we want to use, we are getting the water. But some places are there in our India, they are not getting sufficient water. They are getting only half an hour in a day water. So what do they to use water? Simple, they are storing the water. So how they store the water and how do they get water in their house, that we have to learn this in this activity. So have you ever think only in our house we are using water? No, we are using for water. Okay. We use wheat, rice, pulses, vegetable and many other food item every day. So we know that the fiber that we use for making fabric come from plants. It is water not needed to grow this? See, we are eating food, we are using our cloth. That cloth, fiber to fabric, wheat, rice, everything is made from water. I mean to say means water is needed to grow fabric and wheat and rice and everywhere. So there is given calculation over there. So many industries are there which are producing so many things there, they need water. So Paheli wants to tell you that about 2 glasses of water are required to produce each page of book. Single page of our book, if we hold the single page of our book, for producing this page, how many glasses of water are using industries? 2 glasses of water are using by industries to produce each page of book. So where do we get water from? Simple. Everyone will give answer. We are getting water from river, spring, pond, well and hand pump. Some other might say we get water from taps. So have you ever wondered where water in taps comes from? Water that we get from taps is also drawn from the lake or river or well. It is then supplied through the network of pipe. Simple, we are getting water from lake, river, ponds, well and taps, and that water is coming from sea. Everything is connected, and in our house it is coming through pipe. So there is a big network of pipe, so we get water. Each of us may be getting water in our homes in a different way. Finally, all of us get water from same sources such as ponds, lakes, rivers and wells. We have discussed some of the sources of water. Where does the water come from? To fill these ponds, lakes, rivers and wells. Okay. Buzo wants to imagine a day in your life when water supply through taps is not available. Suppose or imagine that there is only one day you are not getting a water from tap. Then what will you do? And how do you manage to get or fetch some water to your house? Simple, we have to go far away places to fetch water. So would you use same amount of water as on any other day? So Buzo is asking us that you are using water from the tap, but someday that you have to fetch some water from different places. You have to go far away. Then what will you do? Will you do same amount of water? Maybe not. Okay. Figure 14.3 you can see oceans cover a major part of earth. In our on our planet, it is earth. It is covered by two-thirds of water. Most of water is in ocean and seas. So is each and every drop of ocean and seas is useful for us? Is it? The water in the oceans and seas has many salt dissolved in it. Water in the ocean and seas has many salt dissolved in it. The water is saline, so it is not fit for drinking and other domestic agriculture and industrial need. See, we are drinking water at our home. It is filtered, it is clean and it is not salted. So we are having lots of water in seas and oceans, but that water is not useful for drinking because it is salted. So we are not using it for domestic use, agriculture and industrial needs. So what is the exact use and how to use this water, that we will learn next. So there is one famous line of the poem Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, written by S.T. Coleridge in 1798. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. So here the poet has described the plight of sailors on the ship lost in the ocean. By the poet want to say sailors are exact in between the midpoint of sea. There is a lots of water, but they cannot drink that water. Why? Because that water is salted. That's why they cannot drink that water. Yet oceans play an important role in supplying the water that we use. So do you find this surprising? After all, the water that we use is not salty. Many of us live in places far away from the ocean. Does the water supply in these places also depend on the oceans? What is exactly? If water is salty, then we cannot use it. Many of us live in places far away from the ocean. Does the water supply in these places also depend on the ocean? So every water places is depend on the ocean. How does the ocean water reach the pond? Lakes, rivers, wells, and which supply us water? How come the water from these sources is not saline anymore. So this is where the water cycle comes in. Water cycle. Before starting the article 14.3, what is water cycle? If you see or if you can imagine, cycle means what? Cycle means there is a wheel which is starting from the particular point, and after one revolution it is reaching at the same point. It is called revolution. Cycle means like that only. Means after one revolution it will be reached at the same point from there started. So disappearing peak of water. So you have noticed in your daily routine that water on the roofs, on the terrace, on the road, you have seen it, that roads are wet, roofs are wet, our clothes are wet. Then how they dry up? Where does the water go? How does the water go? Then that is the question in our mind. So activity 6 in chapter 5, which water with salt dissolved in it is heated. Simple. If the water gets an heat, then it get evaporate and goes in sky. That means it evaporate in sky. That's why our water is converting into gas. Water is liquid, convert into gas or vapor. Then like this, water gets dry up from the clothes or rooftops, or you can say this from the wet road. So we also release from this activity that water vapor does not carry away the salt with it. Whenever we are watching the sea is getting or sea water is getting heated, and after getting heated it turns into vapor. At that moment that vapor is not salted, that vapor is pure and is getting up. So we also found that heating is essential to convert water into vapor. However, we have seen that water changes into vapor is from the field, road, rooftop and other land areas. We also discuss in chapter 5 that obtain salt water from the sea is left shallow pits to let the water evaporate. From where does this water get heat? It needs to evaporate. Let us find out. So from activity 2 we will discuss in the next lecture. Have a nice day.